In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Anyway, let's jump into the film review. We are concluding November with Brother Dustin's pick. Dustin, you want to announce your pick and why you picked it? I heard you loved it, brother.
Yeah, so about a month and a half ago, maybe longer, maybe shorter, I don't know, somewhere in that range, a couple of our social media friends were having a conversation about a movie on Twitter, and I was tagged and asked if I had seen it, and I had not. And I was going to just go ahead and watch it, but then I was like, you know what? I don't want to watch it for nothing. Let's review it. It's horror, so yeah. So the movie in question was 2019's Villains with Bill Skarsgård, Micah Monroe, Jeffrey Donovan, Kira Sedgwick. And so I was like, yeah, let's review it. So I saved it and did not watch it until I did my notes for this. Now, I will say that when I'm looking for a movie, like for us to review or just I want to watch it, I've got a Vizio TV. And a lot of times, instead of looking it up online to see where it's streaming, I'll just go to the search feature, and I'll search for the movie I'm looking for and find where it's streaming. This movie is streaming for free on 13 apps that are on my Vizio TV, plus 5 more apps that I'm subscribed to. I had 18 different avenues I could have watched this movie. That is insane. That is by far the most I've ever seen. But anyway, as far as the movie goes, like I said, I hadn't seen it. I was optimistic because Micah was so good in Long Legs, and Skarsgård is so good in everything. I mean, Nico, you and I watched a movie that he was in where he was literally locked in a car the whole time, and he was great. Jeffrey Donovan, he's not as well known, but he's solid like everything that you see him in. Kira Sedgwick is she's a legend, the closer herself. So I was very optimistic. That being said, I thought this movie was just okay. Like, this movie kind of played it too safe. Like, they got so close and flirted with taking chances and came so close to making decisions that would have made it a good movie, but they just stopped short every time. And they would pivot to something else. And it ended up just being an okay movie. No major gripes, no major loves, though. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'll go next. I had seen this movie once before, kind of recently, probably within the past 6 months or so. I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it the first time I watched it, and I enjoyed it this time. It's one of those movies where I don't have to think too much. I can just watch familiar actors and actresses and kind of disconnect and just enjoy what I'm watching. I think it's funny. I think Jeffrey Donovan definitely carries it. I think his humor as George is great, and I just have fun with it. I don't think it's anything super special. I won't disagree with you there, but I don't know. This is I think it's a fun one. I could watch this. I'll watch it again in the future. Mike, what'd you think?
Well, the crazy thing is you mentioned his humor. Like, it's listed as a comedy horror thriller. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm probably going to love this movie because
I thought you would too, honestly.
I picked those movies.
I don't think
there was enough comedy. Like, Jeffrey Donovan's character was quirky, but I don't think he did or said anything that I thought, haha, that was funny. I don't know. And then Skarsgård and Monroe, like, their characters were just bumbling idiots that pissed me off more than made me laugh. So I didn't think it was funny at all, sad to say. Actually, I take that back. The funny part was the mask that they wore when they were robbing the gas station. That was funny. But
It was hilarious. So agree and disagree with a lot of what you both said, where I really just think it's okay. Like, it's just a movie to me, and it's not boring. It's not bad. It just is. And it's, it doesn't commit that ultimate sin of being boring like I've talked about on the show, so I will give it that. It's an entertaining watch, but it didn't do anything interesting, I guess, right? Like, it's entertaining, but it's not interesting. We were talking about before, Dustin, the show before we hit record. It tried to take a couple of chances, or we thought it was going to, and then it didn't go anywhere with them. And so I was kind of curious, okay, well, maybe they're setting something up for later. Nope. Maybe they're going to take an interesting turn here. Nope. The only semi-interesting turn they took is one of them being absolutely batshit insane, right? I mean, that's pretty much it. Everything else is just kind of milquetoast, and I was disappointed by that. Now, it's not bad. I actually disagree a little bit. I think there's some hilarious parts in this movie early on, but then it really gets sad and kind of heartbreaking towards the end. Like, there's a lot of sad here too. So, obviously the cast is outstanding. Micah Monroe, Skarsgård, everyone involved. And George reminds me of, what's Bill Dovetree's cousin's name? Well, the fucking one from Louisiana.
yeah.
I'm talking about.
I do know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, the one with the good barbecue recipe. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one's that guy. He reminds me of him. But, all in all, it's good. It's not great. I would consider it a good popcorn flick until about the last 20 minutes where it's just sad. So, I mean, not bad. Yeah, so it's just kind of there for me.
That's fair. I agree with the popcorn part, though. Like, it's just a popcorn horror movie, comedy movie. You can just turn it on and kind of just watch what we're watching. Well, let's jump into the scene by scene. The film starts with Mickey and Jules talking about Florida and this being the last one. We see the couple robbing a gas station now with a unicorn and pigeon mask on. They struggle to get the cash register open at first, but eventually do and make their getaway. Title card as they celebrate a successful robbery. Jules is aching for a quaking and decides on roadhead since they're trying to escape. The car runs out of fuel, even though they were just at a fucking gas station, and Jules calms him down so they can think. He says, "I know," to her, "I love you." Then they spot a mailbox. Mickey breaks into the front door with a crowbar and they scope the house out. We see a woman bound and crying after he tosses a camera. Jules partakes in a bowl of cereal after not finding a spare set of keys. They take a line of coke for a creative boost and decide to siphon the gas. They hesitantly go into the basement to look around. Something about Bill Skarsgård in basements, right? They're jump scared by a girl being held captive downstairs named Sweetie Pie. Mickey says they have to go, but Jules refuses to leave her down here. He agrees to help save her. They get caught looking for a knife by the homeowners, and Mickey pulls a gun on them as George offers them money, whatever they want. George says that's just discipline downstairs. George tries to defuse the situation and offers a scotch so they can compromise. George makes his case, saying he's a good salesman and can read people. George says they could steal the car and he wouldn't report it for a while, but if they kidnap their daughter, he'd have to report them much sooner. Mickey believes he could read people like him someday and looks around the house drawing conclusions. He yells George is a psychopath and go get the keys so they can take the girl. George unlocks her and Sweetie Pie is hesitant to go with Mickey. He begs her to come with him, but she bites his hand and then George headbutts him, knocking him out. Dang it. Mike, that's the opening set of scenes. What'd you think?
Yeah, just for me personally, pretending I'm at the beach does nothing for me. I think the beach is overrated. I'm from Florida, went to the beach a lot as a kid or even as an adult, and so, just kind of okay to me. The same way people probably from the mountains take them for granted as well, right? It's just one of nature's beauties. Both of them are nature's beauties. But if you're from one, you don't see it the same way as someone who's not from it. So totally understand that. Just wanted to point that out. I do think it was hilarious that this was the prelude to a robbery. It was not what I was expecting. I laughed my ass off once I realized what was taking place, and their masks are great. Like, it is absolutely hilarious. Now, if I'm running that store, you don't need to come in and do all this if you're robbing me. Like, I'm not going to fight you on this. You know, if you're going to come and rob me, you go right on ahead. When you leave, I'll call the police. We'll figure it out. I am not fighting back against people to protect product that ain't mine. Just throwing that out there. Now, again, you know, Mickey's stronger than me, because if she's doing this, I'm pulling over and we got things to do. I mean, come on, especially Mike and Monroe. What the hell? Whew. Anyway, he makes faces. And I've talked about this when we've done some other Skarsgård stuff. He just makes faces that look like Pennywise, and there's just no getting around it. Like, he'll do a little smile or like a frozen face. I'm like, ooh, that looks a lot like the clown. And there's no way around it. He's going to be synonymously linked to that character forever. This house that they pull up on is like straight out of 1986. No problem there. I love it. That's an oldie but a goodie. And hey, that's the kind of creative boost that I'm fucking talking about right there. Everybody needs a little bump sometimes. Just a little bump. Get it going. Get them creative juices flowing. I understand it. Now, I can't do it anymore, so I'd use pre-workout instead. But sometimes you got to have a little bump to get your head straight. Again, he's stronger than me because, to quote Shakira, wherever, whenever, that's how that would go down. And I just wouldn't go down to the basement of this house. I don't care how desperate I was to find car keys or whatever. Any house I could get into is easy as the one they got into. I just wouldn't bother. I'd be creeped out. I'm leaving. And I think the little girl being down there goes to one of the things I was talking about. This is interesting, but they don't really take it anywhere interesting, because obviously there's a little girl chained up in a basement. You're going to be freaked out and you're going to want to get her out of there to safety. But she doesn't seem super willing to do so. Now, obviously, she's a victim of abuse. She doesn't trust adults who would in her shoes. And that's really where, they hit those beats. But I was kind of surprised that that's all they did with this character. I don't know. I was just expecting something more. And then we get these two goofs, and these are two of the most idiotic people ever that we're meeting. And I can tell he's the worst kind of salesman, though, because he had me convinced that this was the way it could go down. Last thing, Skarsgård is great here, and this is the most on any set of scenes I have, so bear with me. Skarsgård is great here. I love the way he flips this salesman pitch that he had. I thought it was great acting from him in that scene.
Yeah, I can tell right away that this is going to be a fun movie with how entertaining the robbery was, and then them running out of gas. It's like, okay, these guys are morons. This is like the Wet Bandits trying to rob a gas station. That's Home Alone, Nico. Mickey is just like me. When Jules said, "I love you," and he said, "I know," boy, I wrote the book on that. And then I had the Leo pointing at the screen meme when he said, "We're not barbarians, huh?" He was in Barbarian. That was good. Now, I know the tone of this movie isn't a serious one, but that's what I'm talking about with the characters just annoying me and pissing me off more than they entertain me. Her pouring a bowl of cereal and then throwing it over her shoulder in the house that they just broke into, that annoyed me. Some things are just too outlandish for me to laugh at. I didn't think that was funny. Major plot twist when they find that kid in the basement. You mentioned, Mike, the kid's apprehensive, scared of adults, victim of abuse, but also definitely some Stockholm syndrome because, she doesn't think it's that bad, clearly. But I like when movies layer crimes and make the hapless morons who commit petty crimes have to take a moral high road when they encounter a worse crime. So I do like that. And then when the homeowners get home, yeah, Mickey and Jules are screwed. They lose control of the situation and don't even realize it. I thought about The Dark Knight Rises when he's like, "I'm in control." And Bane just puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "Do you feel in control?" Because, yeah, you got the gun, but, dude, you're letting him talk way too much. You've lost this situation. But Mickey does do a good job of turning it back around on George and holding their position when they want the girl unchained. But then the headbutt throws another wrench into things. So I think this is a solid open. Honestly, maybe my favorite set of scenes because I still have a lot of hope as far as how good this movie could be based on how entertaining the open was.
Dude, whenever they find the girl downstairs, it kind of gave me Jeepers Creepers vibes. When they're seeing the creeper dump the body down the chute, He's like, bro, just get out of there and call the cops. Like,
That's what I was thinking the whole time.
Just admit that your car broke down and you needed some gas, but then you found that. But then again, they did just rob a gas station, so they were kind of in a pickle. So
yeah, but anonymous 911 call. Get out of there. Like, you don't have to stick around till the cops get there. Just like, hey, there's a kid in the basement. Hang up. Get going.
Yeah. Just say you heard something crazy. But anywho, quick cuts of Florida as we hear Gloria talking to George about how happy she is now. We see Mickey tied up to a bed, and Gloria says she better be a good boy if she wants to see Jules again. She begins laughing as he makes threats. Jules is chained up downstairs now, asking her why she attacked him. Gloria puts some music on as she gives him a striptease. She lies by him and grabs him by the wiener. She's offended he's not erect and smacks him. She backs away, saying she just wants to give, but if you don't want that, and she freezes and storms away. Jules makes conversation with Sweetie Pie, who isn't saying anything back. Gloria shows Mickey pictures, and he's flirting back with her. She tells him of her and George's love story adventure and how they never had kids. Mickey flirts with her again and says he was nervous yesterday. He calls her mommy, and she likes it and kisses him. Mickey sees Jules doing it now, and he says he needs to touch her. She unlocks the cuffs, and he tosses her to the ground. He gets free and runs for it. George shoots at him and orders him back upstairs. I'd blow your brains out if I thought you had any. He scolds his upbringing for making a woman cry and shoots him in the leg. Mickey is taken downstairs and he's bound up by Jules. She checks on him and he's in a lot of pain. She asks if he can pick the cuffs. He yells "fuck you" to Sweetie Pie, which I thought was funny as well. Mike, that's the next set of scenes. What do you think?
Look, so I had a lot of hope the way this started as well. And then it's not that I'm not interested in George, and I'm sorry. I just called her a fucking crazy lady in my notes. I do apologize. But it's not that I'm not interested in them, but I am much more interested in Mickey and Jules. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, to me, I think pretty quickly, like Dustin noted, these are petty criminals robbing to survive. These two that they've ran into are absolutely fucking nuts and have a kid in their basement. So, I mean, pretty quickly playing with that line of like, oh, these are all bad people flips very quickly, right? I mean, this is no chance that these people are innocent in any way. And of course they're not. But Jules down here yelling at this girl like she's Loomis in Halloween 5. I'm like, hey man, she's been through a lot. Let's slow our roll here. She bit him because she doesn't trust anyone. And like Dustin mentioned, Stockholm Syndrome. Of course, she's only known this for who knows how long that she's been down here. Now I know, and I almost texted him when I was watching it, taking notes. I know Nico loved, there you go, I got her name in this scene here. I know Nico loved this scene with Gloria. My man was probably at midnight. That is right in his age group, and I know he was having a good time with that shit. You can't fucking lie to me, Nico. I know you were excited. Don't lie. Don't lie.
I knew those jokes were coming. I knew they were.
But you didn't deny the claim. You didn't deny the claim. So that's it.
Yeah, when
buddy.
Nico said he'll definitely rewatch this movie again, he meant that scene in particular.
Yeah, he did. Hey, I don't blame you, buddy, because, all right, okay, roll tide, as Conrad Thompson would say. Now, back down here with, I lost my train of thought making fun of Nico there. Back down here with Jules and I guess Sweetie Pie, for lack of a name there. It's just, some people are really good and patient with these victims of abuse and, especially kids, talking to them, trying to earn some trust back in there. And I just wouldn't trust adults either. It's written all over her face that she doesn't want to speak because she thinks that this adult is like all these other adults, and rightfully so. Then we cut back to Nico's dream again, man. Like this is we're interlacing some serious stuff with this like sexy Gloria thing, and I don't know, it's just super. Hey, man, when she starts getting in his ear and stuff, I'm all right, Nico, calm down over there, buddy. I'm sorry. Got to give the man credit though. He was faking it, and it worked, right? Like he got her to unlock the chains on him. That was super smart. So. Shout out to him. Maybe he's not as incompetent as I thought earlier. And I thought he was about to just take the extra credit at it, I mean, I'm unchained. Might as well do what I got to do and then leave. That would have been the smart play. This man, I just want to point out, this man's strong-willed because he turns down sex like 5 times in this film. Just throwing that out there. So good for him. Last thing I have, then they lock him up down there. And I think they're the dynamic when they're chained up together back to back is probably the best part of the movie. Like, there's some actually funny stuff in the commentary, and that's in the next set of scenes. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was just okay as far as keeping my interest because nothing really happens from like a story standpoint other than that Gloria is absolutely insane.
Boy, Gloria's on some freak stuff. Mickey and Jules broke into the wrong house. He went from trying to find some gas to being sexually assaulted by Kira Sedgwick. Like, what are we doing? Gloria, man, she does have some deep issues, though. That's a wild fantasy that she's acting out. I was very uncomfortable. Don't seduce me while calling me your son or referring to yourself as mommy. That's weird. I was glad Mickey was able to get out of that room, but he didn't make it far. George cracked me up when he said, "I'd blow your brains out if I thought you had any." That's a good line. I didn't really have much here, but it was a decent set of scenes getting us into the action.
The car is being towed as Mickey and Jules talk about their new shell business. He has an epiphany and says, "Give me the tongue ring so he can pick the cuffs." Sweetie Pie watches on awkwardly, but Jules can't get the stud out. He gets the stud out as George comes downstairs to feed them. They both refuse, and he goes back upstairs. Mickey gets Jules' cuffs unlocked, and she tries his now. Uh-oh, the stud breaks, and he's still cuffed. He reassures her and says she's got this. Sweetie Pie points at a chute that she can escape through. She uses elite body strength to make it up the chute, and she makes it out upstairs. She tries escaping through a window, but finds a creepy baby doll in the crib. George smacks Mickey around asking where Jules is, and says he's going to rip his heart out after he says he's shooting blanks. He asks Sweetie Pie what they should do with him. Jules hides in the closet as Gloria looks around. She picks the baby doll up and holds it. George puts a blade to Mickey's ear, and he begins telling him their plan. Man to man, I don't want the cops involved either. Mickey says he doesn't give a fuck about Sweetie Pie. She's the reason I'm down here. George puts the blade up as Jules watches Gloria from the closet. She walks towards the closet, but George calls her downstairs to say bye to Mickey. Mickey was almost home free until Jules walks out with a baby doll threatening to kill it. Gloria grabs the gun and shoots at Jules, and she drops the doll and it shatters on the ground. George orders her downstairs or he blows his brains out. Look at what you two have done. What did I do to deserve you two? All right, Mike, that's the next set of scenes. What do you think?
Yeah, you see, this is where I disagree because I actually thought this scene with the tongue was funny as fuck. Like, I thought them discussing how they were going to, get unlocked and, use the tongue. They're arguing back and forth just in like the little mannerisms that they used, how real couples kind of talk to each other. I thought was pretty funny. So I thought that was really good stuff. And then my man George comes down and tries to feed them, which I also thought was fucking hilarious. Creepy, hilarious, because, in his warped mind, he actually feels like he's trying to do the right thing, or he's trying to drug them, whichever way you choose to look at that. Now, no fucking way I would... man, the way they did the tongue rip part was, oh, God, that would be awful and painful as fuck. Now, I will say, it worked. Holy shit, it worked. And you could tell that Jules gets off on, like, adrenaline rush, man. Because as soon as this happened, she was all about ready to do some stuff to this guy. So she's also a freak. Her and Gloria maybe got more in common than she wants to admit. Again, he's better than me because I would be pissed if she broke that thing off in my cuffs. Fuck that. I'd be pissed. Hey, why don't you do what I did? I did it without even looking. You're looking right at it and you couldn't get this shit off me? Come on, man. Let's be better. Baby dolls in horror movies are unnecessarily creepy. I don't know why they're so creepy, but this one was, I hated it. And George is either a cuck, homosexual, or can't get it up anymore. Whichever way you choose to look at it, that George is fitting into one of those three categories. Last thing I had, the glass baby breaking being done so dramatically, even though we know what happened to them, losing a child, just all that stuff. It was hilarious to me. Like the way they really kind of piped that up, slow motion, all that. I thought it was funny. So that's all I had.
Yeah, insane plan here. Rip her tongue ring out? Hell no. I did laugh at Sweetie Pie covering her eyes and squirming like that, because same. And then you almost forget that she's even there because she doesn't talk or make any sounds at all, and they don't show her that often. So I think that was actually a good way to show us, like, keep her in the back of our mind, but she is there. And Jules just detrimentally horny. She always wants to get intimate when they should be in a hurry. Like, what are you talking about, woman? We got to go. Sweetie Pie finally makes herself useful when she points out the laundry chute, but I hated how they added that little twinkle to it. Like the little sparkle of light when they showed the laundry chute. That was corny. That was so corny. I thought the look at Jules climbing up the chute was cool, though. Like they, took out the front wall and we could see her climbing up. Talk about Captain Core Strength over here. And then the revelation that it's a dang baby doll in the crib. Like, I had my suspicions earlier when we saw her holding the baby, but I don't know. It's just, I guess it's to be expected because of her weird mommy fantasies that she had. Like, these are weird people. I can't imagine why Gloria knew Jules was in the closet. Could have been her breathing as loud as a Ram 2500's exhaust. I mean, my God, woman, what are you talking about? Control yourself. Pretty predictable development that the baby got smashed, and we're going to see how they move on from here.
Got a god dang Cummins engine and
Yeah.
Cummins transmission in there. Got Johnny from In a Violent Nature hiding out in the damn closet. All right, the oven goes off and George talks to Mickey and Jules, who are taped up to the chairs. He says the rolls are terrific as Jules asks why is the little girl down there. He explains they couldn't have kids and he took it into his own hands. Sweetie Pie was only a reminder of what she couldn't have, so she's being kept in the basement. Gloria serves up shepherd's pie and says grace. Jules asks if they're going to be killed or what. We're not going to kill you. The logistics don't make sense. They're going to tip the police off in a couple of days, but they'll still draw breath. George says the little girl will go to an orphanage. Gloria says Jules has a good heart, reminds her of her mother. She tells her story of her mother's death and the gift she gave her. It was the doll, a magic doll. She's pissed, and we see the couple reacting to the food. Drug overdose. George tells their real plans to kill them now. Doorbell rings, and an officer asks him if he's seen anything out of the ordinary. He says he hasn't, and the officer goes to leave, but the door won't close. The officer sees the door is damaged, and he asks if he can take a look around. George lets him inside, and the couple is gone from the table. He notices all the food and goes to look around the house. Jules wakes up in the gym high, and she rolls over to the bag of drugs. Officer goes into the basement as he gets a radio for another call about the suspects. Jules takes a hit of the cocaines and crawls over to Mickey. She pours some coke in his nose, and he's awake now. She tells him that she has a plan. Mike, that's the next set of scenes, and the next set is the ending. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot on this set of scenes where, not that I'm losing interest in the movie, but I'm like, this is going to be kind of paint by numbers, huh? I would be fucked here at this because if you put that food in front of me, especially once I realize it's shepherd's pie, I'm going to fucking eat it. I mean, I'm taped to a chair, but love me some shepherd's pie. So it's already been made. I'm taped. I might as well just fucking stay and eat. You know what I mean? I mean, fuck, what the hell? George's line of despite your piss poor behavior cracked me up. I thought that was a funny line and the delivery was great. Again, Gloria is just absolutely loony bin material, man. Like telling this story to Jules, you remind me of my mom that's been dead, that's been dead forever. I don't know. This woman's really fucking creepy and weird to me. See, and like I said, I wouldn't make it. I'd be drugged. I'd be done because I'm not turning down shepherd's pie. I'm devouring that shit. I probably would have been dead quickly. Outside of Mickey making the smart move to get unchained, even though he ended up back to being chained and then taped, all of these four are kind of dumb as hell, man. And then the cop comes in and he doesn't do them any justice, honestly. Like they all have chances where I thought they were about to get caught, but of course not. Everything happens just at the right time. So, yeah. And again, it always comes back to just getting a little bit of a good bump, baby, to wake you back up and do the right thing. So, I thought it was a fun set of scenes, but I am kind of ready to see how the story wraps up.
Yeah, I don't have much here. The dinner scene was solid. He lied about letting them live to get them to lower their guard and then eat so that he could drug them. Then the sound design when they were fading out, that was great. I thought that was a really good touch. Good tension when the cops showed up at their house, especially because I was thinking about that busted door the whole time because George mentioned, you come in and bust my door. I was thinking about the whole time. And then when the door came into play, you almost think they're going to get away with it scotch-free. And then the cop's like, And that made it even better. And now he wants to have a look around, but, nothing came of it, which I expected. I didn't expect him to actually kill a cop. because this movie hasn't been that bold so far. But I'm ready for the ending.
Yep, here's the ending. That was a close one, George says, as they find them missing from the gym. You should have stayed and kept a watch, and as they see a boot outside on the ground. They go outside to look for them, as we see they're still inside the house. George crashes out blaming Glory, and she's had enough. They try and help Sweetie Pie, who's still resistant. Glory is upset George yelled at her and wants him to cherish her. Mickey apologizes to her, while George apologizes too. Gloria is smitten as Sweetie Pie finally agrees to go with them. Gloria says she wants to forget about them and start a new life. Just the two of us, he says as he holds her face. The three make it to the car but can't find the garage opener. George notices the keys are missing. George goes downstairs to shoot Sweetie Pie, but she gone. They get the garage open and George hears it. He's waiting with a gun as the door opens. Come on out and get ready for a whooping. I fucking love you, Jules. You're the best thing that's happened to me. He tells her to duck and he hits the gas. Mickey has been shot as George rolls over the car after being hit. Mickey dies in her arms until George grabs her and rips her out the window. Sweetie Pie grabs the gun and shoots him graveyard dead before he can choke Jules to death. She tells Jules, I want to go with you. Jules mounts Mickey and says, I love you. Gloria walks out and sees George dead, but acts like if he's still alive. Jules and Sweetie Pie ignore her and the two walk away. They make it to the road as a truck drives by and picks them up. She says they're headed to Florida. They get in the truck and drive away as the film ends with the two of them playing on the beach and running the shell business. Mike, that's the ending. What'd you think?
Yeah, I will say there's a part of this last set of scenes that's just so ridiculous. Like, you know, George and Gloria are looking outside for them for kind of no fucking reason. And then this like run away and start over scene is, I don't know, batshit insane. But there's definitely some humor to it. But they both need to be locked up, thrown away the key. These people are nuts. What I don't like is we get this intense scene. Finally, Sweetie Pie agrees to go with them, which was nice to see that development. But just run this motherfucker over with zero hesitancy. If I have this girl and I'm trying to get her to safety, we know these two are capable of terrible things. Just run this motherfucker over. Now, I know he had a gun pointing at him, and so there's some hesitance there, but if you do it quick enough and you don't give him the chance to do anything, you might be all right. Turns out, not all right, gets shot. And I was not expecting him to get shot and die. Like, damn, that fucking sucks, man. And I guess if we give them credit for doing anything bold, I guess that one kind of counts. But I wasn't happy with that. Like, I kind of wanted them all to make it out because I think Mickey definitely had some growth over his last day, however he's been spending his time here. And so I will say, thought it was badass that ended up being Sweetie Pie that blows, in the words of Will Patton and Halloween, shoot this motherfucker's brains out. And she did. And so I love the shot of the back of the head as the whole. It's huge. I thought that was fun. So, but then the ending, it gets sad and touching, and I was just not expecting that. And then, you get Gloria's character who you're kind of sad for at the end, right? Like, she clearly is unwell, needs some actual help. So, a mixed bag. I thought it was good. I thought the ending was kind of safe though. Like we've talked about already, it was just okay for me.
Yeah, I got frustrated with Mickey and Jules when they're making their escape. Like, listen, save yourselves and then call the cops and tell them about the girl in the basement like we talked about earlier. These people act like time stands still for them. The most predictable thing I've ever seen in a movie is when George was standing outside the garage door when it opened. Yeah. And then I also did expect him to floor it and run George over. Although you mentioned it, Mike, like, don't hesitate. I know Brandy Norwood wouldn't have hesitated. George would have been dead in a hurry. But I will say I didn't expect Mickey to get shot and die, though. Like, dang. Like, you kind of, this whole movie leads you to believe that nothing's going to come of all this. But probably the most likable character in the movie ends up dying. Also didn't expect Sweetie Pie to shoot George and then speak. I thought she was a mute this whole time. And then Jules and Sweetie Pie get away. Okay, so I'm supposed, like, I don't know, did the woman drive them all the way to Florida? Even if she didn't, like, come on. This woman who, her face has to be all over the news because they found the car, and she's wearing the same clothes, like, no one, they're just going to get away. And not to mention that she has a kid that is not hers. It's been missing for God knows how long. I don't know. It was just a mediocre ending to a mediocre movie to me.
I don't know why when you said I thought she was a mute sent me. Let's jump into our social media comments and questions. We didn't have anything on the Book of Faces, but on Instagram, Dana Tucker 48 commented, "I've watched it twice thanks to you guys. Quite enjoyed it a lot more on the second watch. Should be a fun review. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all and your families." Appreciate that, Dana. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Dustin, we got anything on X or Blue Skies?
Nothing on Blue Sky. We did have one on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, from new follower Death Curse Casey. Easy for me to say. Casey said, "Really enjoyed this movie. Wouldn't have worked without a royal flush in the acting department, but by God, they had it. 8.5 out of 10. Appreciate that. Appreciate the follow.
Absolutely. New blood donor as well. We're going to shout them out then, too, as well.
Nice.
Dustin, you got any fun facts? There's not really a ton on IMDb.
Yeah, no, I just got my usual one. Bill Skarsgård was in Deadpool 2, which I know, Nico, you've seen, with Josh Brolin, who was in The Road Killers with David Arquette.
I will read a couple of them off of IMDb. If you look closely at Mickey's wrist, he has a tattoo of stuntman Mike's car, character of Kurt Russell and Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof. I think that's pretty cool. And this is a really profound fun fact from IMDb. Like, I'm really glad that they told us this one. Bill Skarsgård and Micah Monroe are really good friends in real life.
Yeah, dude, come on. I gave that
you
a
down,
thumbs.
Did you downgrade that?
Yeah, I gave it a thumbs down. What are we doing?
Yeah, what do we do? Mike, was there a budget? I don't think there was. I think it's another Shudder movie, so.
Actually, I found a very large gap. So I found one site that said there was $50,000 for the budget, and then I found another one that says $2 million. I'm going to lean more towards the $2 million because I don't think there's very much that you could make for $50,000 anymore. Very limited theatrical release, around $175,000 as far as gross goes.
Yeah, there's no way 50,000 that because Bill was off of a friggin' It Chapter 1 and
Correct.
It Chapter 2 in progress.
Correct.
I mean, and we know Jeffrey Donovan's cashing them suits checks, so I mean, he's got to be.
No, burn notice.
Burn notice. That's
It's not in.
What was I thinking suits for?
It's a great show.
No, Rick
Yeah.
Hoffman. Because I
Yeah.
watched the Thanksgiving kill count yesterday at work.
Rick
That's why I was thinking of suits. Let's jump into our favorite kill, least favorite kill, and the rating. Dusty, you want to kick us off so you can jot our scores down?
Yeah, favorite kill, I guess George, just because like he was entertaining, but he had a kid chained in his basement. He needed to die. Least favorite kill was Mickey, just because like, come on, like you gave us this unbelievable finish anyway with Jules and the kid getting away to Florida. Let Mickey live. As far as the rating, like I said, I think this is about the most mediocre movie I've seen. It's not boring and not bad, but also not that interesting and definitely not that good. Skarsgård and Donovan were solid. Monroe was good, but her character was more annoying and frustrating than entertaining, so it took away from her performance to me. So I guess that speaks volumes to how well she did. It was just okay at best. I gave it a 5.25 out of 10. I do want to say, though, some of the Letterboxd reviews were funny. I want to read a couple of them.
Go ahead.
4 stars. They just wanted to sell seashells by the seashore. Micah Monroe, don't be shy. Give me a car wash. 3.5 stars. Horror comedy, my ass. I cried my effing eyes out. 4.5 stars. So like, Letterboxd is funny for stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
those
know they
reviews
annoy you,
honestly
Nico.
annoy the shit out of me. But hey, anywho, it's like, what? This is supposed to be an app for people who love cinema, and all you assholes got is witty, stupid one-liners. But anywho, I'll quit being a
It's a social
curmudgeon.
media.
I'll quit being a curmudgeon. I'll go next. I agree with your favorite and least favorite kills. I thought George's kill was good. Gets ran over. Then he gets his brains blown out by Sweetie Pie. I thought that was nice. And the effects look pretty good, too. Least favorite kill is Mickey. Like, I agree with you. Like, let him live. He already got shot once. He's got a leg wound. Like, Smoke said in the fucking Sinners. Like, he's got a wound. You didn't get away from the smokestack to win, so at least you got a limp forever. I enjoy this movie. I think it's fun. It's just a popcorn horror movie, like Mike mentioned. I can just turn it on, have a good time. You don't have to pay attention really hard. You can just kind of laugh when you do. Enjoy some good performances from familiar stars. I gave the movie a 7. You got Brian's score? You want to share it real quick?
Yeah, Brian gave it a 6.75. I think he said it was fun. And then he said that Mike Monroe reminded him of Blake Lively, which I didn't see it at all. I said more like Blake Methley.
No. What the fuck?
Mike, what's your favorite kill?
Wait, you don't think Micah Monroe's attractive? Did I miss something?
Not in this movie. I don't like her as a
Oh,
blonde.
buddy.
I don't know. It's just something about her in this movie. I didn't think she looked good. No offense to her. She's a handsome lady in real
Yeah,
life,
of
but in
course.
this movie, it's shit.
Yeah. Man, she looked better than a plate of stuffing on Thursday. Anyway, I love stuffing. I'm one of the only people. So, my favorite kill and least favorite are the exact same. My favorite is George because he deserved to have his his brains blown. And then least favorite, poor Mickey, man. That, he didn't. I would have had him live. If I could have rewritten anything, it would have been that. Like I've said kind of ad nauseum here, it's just okay. Like, there's good, there's bad, and then there's kind of in the middle. And I think when you sum all that up, it kind of just lands in the middle where it's just there. The cast is great, and there's some good acting, and there's some good comedy, and there's some good sadness stuff too, some good dramatic stuff. But it didn't really move me one way or the other, and it didn't take enough chances. Like, I felt like you had a really good story here where you could have taken some twists and turns and flipped things around, and you just kind of decided to tell a pretty plain story. So all in all, that landed me on a 6.25.
All right. So that gives us a composite score of 6.3125. IMDb 6.2. Letterboxd 3.1. Rotten Tomatoes 84%. I mean, okay. Cool.
Dustin's mad people like his movie.
No, I'm just
kidding.
I just didn't expect 84%. That's a high score on rating. Like 84% of critics gave this at least 3 out of 5. That's shocking to me because I just didn't see anything special in it.
And 13% like Saw 5 or something like that. Fuck off, Rotten Tomatoes, you assholes. All right, anywho, let's shout out our blood donors, and then I'll announce Brian's pick for next week. Blood donors, really appreciate y'all. You take a huge burden off us. I can't stress that enough. Camper level reoccurring, Nina, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, Matt from the UK, and Anthony Andrews. Camp counselor reoccurring, Edwin Hernandez Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdoc, Jennifer Davis from You're Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, Amanda Pettiford, and Death Curse Casey. New follower on X as well, so appreciate you. I'm going to announce Brian's pick for next week. He's going to pick an overdue movie. It's The Conjuring Last Rites.
That's right.
The newest Conjuring movie, and allegedly
About
the
time.
last one. Yeah, it's about damn time. So yeah,
About damn time, pal.
I'm not super excited to rewatch it. I didn't love it, but we know these Conjuring movies always bring in some listens, so excited for that. Guys, any final thoughts on villains before we get out of here?
Nope.
Yeah, outside, and I know this is about to be a pause moment, but that movie is just so fucking long, man. Fuck. Brian,
Yeah,
I swear Brian's
changed my
good for
pick.
just picking the longest fucking movies we watch, man.
Well, I had Frankenstein down for December, but I was like 2.5 hours. Like, I just don't feel like doing that in December, so let's do something different. But we appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back next week.
Yep.
Good night, Canada.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody